Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Reincarnated as a Podcaster. We are your hosts, the Ed Boy, the Bobby J, and the Forest.
We haven't been talking for 10 minutes without recording.
No. Oh, I was supposed to hit record.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, we're here for another episode, and today we are talking about something I'm super excited that it came out.
I'm so happy I had him do the opening. I knew this would be perfect. We're going.
I'm happy.
It's dear to your heart.
I'm excited. It is. I love it. I love it so much.
It's got great mixed reviews.
Does it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
As soon as I opened it, I'm like, why is it that low? It's like 5 stars, 1 star, everything else.
I thought IGN gave it a 9.
Yeah, but that's IGN.
That's right. What's Kotaku?
I'd rather like IGN. Like I just can't listen to the rating. It just doesn't make sense. It's like listening to us talk.
It normally doesn't, because you'll listen to them talk about something and they'll be like, this is great, this is awesome, this is the
7.
best. 7.
Yeah. Or it's the worst thing ever. It's fucking buggy.
9.
It looks like shit. I was gonna say 7.
Oh, yeah. So I don't really trust that. But we are going to talk about Castlevania Nocturnes today.
It sounds like our reviews were like, this was fucking shitty. I hated it. 8.
That is our reviews, though. We do shit on everything we watch.
That is normal, though. Doesn't mean we didn't like it.
There's just
certain things that we just shit on.
Shit on it. Like, did you really like it?
It's like this show. Dude, this show is so bad. It's so dark. It's set in the nighttime most of the time. It's crazy.
A show about vampires is set in the dark.
I saw one movie where they can go in the light.
We're talking about Twilight?
Yeah.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
I mean, they go all sparkly, I guess, but...
Better than the dark.
They don't immediately die, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, Castlevania. Thoughts, impressions. What did you think about this new sequel season?
So last episode was amazing.
So
Like when you know that guy and then great.
Oh, dude, when the dude from Smash showed up, what's his name?
Richter.
No. He does the cubes from Minecraft.
Steve
showed up at the end.
Yeah.
That show was badass.
God damn it.
No. So my first impression, starts off for some reason like 1700s.
Yeah.
Revolutionary time. So
Yes.
and I don't really think this normally takes place here, but that's fine.
I mean, it threw me off a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a direct sequel and not like
300 years later.
1,000 years later.
Those numbers are the same, yep. So, 300 years later, you're just like, yeah, okay, this is interesting. And then, just normal vampire hunting.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I liked the first 4 seasons.
4. It's 4 seasons.
So this one, to me, is just like picked
season.
up where the other Castlevania, in my mind, just kind of ended. And then we were waiting for shit. And
I don't know,
like
man. Well, I was not expecting this to come out. And I thought the show was done.
Yeah.
It was a pleasant surprise. It's very good. Animation, top tier.
Mm-hmm.
It looked clean as fuck, bro. The fight scenes. Oh.
The fight scenes for whoever this company is, I'll have to look it up.
Whoever the studio is top tier.
So good.
Absolutely
a bunch
amazing.
Of Korean fucking animators.
Absolutely amazing.
Okay. I believe in him. He'll be the guy today.
I mean, I enjoyed it. Rondo of Blood, where Richter comes from, which is the main character of this show, is a game I only know that's one I only know recently after it was ported over. But Symphony of the Night, right, is such a big part of anyone who's a Castlevania fan, right? And
South Korean. I knew it.
And so the idea of who Richter is and what he is and who he later becomes friends with and everything is just like such a big part of this, so I did appreciate how the whole, the last 4 seasons are based on Castlevania 3, right? And so we're jumping further ahead. I do not think Rondo of Blood takes place in this time period, but really in Castlevania, I mean, it's hard to tell where anything is placed.
Oh, yeah. I think this takes place pretty much right after the other ones do. They're all kind of like back to back.
Yeah, it's kind of similar.
Yeah.
Depending on when you want to like consider when those are, right? Because the first,
it's not this time period.
No. Well, I mean, the first 4 seasons, right? Keep it to almost like what you would think the person who is Vlad the Impaler would have lived.
Yeah.
Right in that time period.
That's why you had Dracula and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. When then at the same time you also think like what we know as Dracula or the character as it was created is a time period 100 years even after this.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it's not like out of the ordinary to see in this place. The 300-year job was interesting.
They added characters that aren't from the games from what
No,
I
at all.
remember.
No.
Are they just random people?
For the most part,
I've never played the games.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the only time I remember you have multiple characters like the first season would be Castlevania 2 or 3.
Not even 2,
Smash
because
Bros.
1 and 2 are
The 3 then?
is what's his face, Simon.
Oh, then
And then 3
it's
is
a 4,
where you
right?
switch between
Yeah.
the 4 characters.
So that's the only one that I know has the switching mechanic. And you have multiple characters. Where all these characters are kind of just like, well, we don't want just Richter. We might as well have
A full
more
cast.
magic people
Yeah.
or more different type of vampires.
I also think it's trying to work on the formula that the first 4 seasons did, right? So you want that same kind of like the group, right? Where the previous season you had, Hector's his name. No, what the frick is his name?
Belmont.
The Belmont, yeah. Good Lord, oh my! I totally
Julia.
no.
no,
But then you had Sci-Fi and Alucard, right? Yeah. You had the 3 of them together, and that was kind of like the party.
Then you had the old man.
Yeah, that comes up
points.
later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was probably supposed to replace the old man character in the game.
Yeah.
And so they're probably trying to recreate that kind of form of dynamic. Where a lot of these shows, that's kind of how it is. You have the party, right? Yeah. Like any fantasy show of that time. So that's probably just what they were trying to do.
Yeah, because so I looked up reviews of it just recently before I logged in. Talked, whatever.
This is virtual.
Until we ported ourselves into the interweb.
This is a virtual space.
So on Google, out of 5, it's like a 2.9.
Interesting.
It's very skewed between 5s and 1s with a bell curve.
Did it get review
from
bombed? Or what
4 to 2. So a lot of people are complaining. Some of it was the choppiness on some of the over battle scenes, but that might just because Netflix has a shitty bitrate, and that might be a problem.
I mean, it's not only that, right? It's I mean, when you think about animation styles, when you hit that craziness, it just happens, right?
Yeah.
A good example, you take any of the really crazy fight scenes in the first season of One Punch Man, right?
Mob Psycho.
It does the same thing.
Yeah.
That's why I always say it's like, when the frame rate drops in half, it's because shit's going down.
Because there's a lot on the screen.
It's like the new Jujutsu Kaisen season.
Yeah.
On Crunchyroll they do this blurred on the fight scenes, so it doesn't look as clean. And everyone's just like, "What the fuck? Why?"
I did see a thing on Crunchyroll that says they fixed it or something.
Oh.
I don't know if it's true because I saw a picture
on the newest episode.
Yeah.
But
I saw the
before-
older episodes. It looks like they fixed it, so I'm not sure if that's a recent thing.
So I don't know where that. I mean, that's just been a staple of animation. Whenever you go into like that sketchier, rough, or just whatever style, right?
Yeah.
That is just the way that's done.
Well, it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
But besides
12
that,
frames per second.
besides that being like one of the problems, which is it's animation problem, you can deal with it,
it's
whatever. But the main one was the time period and the characters they added. A lot of people are complaining. Obviously, their source material. Why aren't we taking from the source material?
I mean, because the thing with Castlevania in general, right? As a person who loves the games, it's like, and the way the games are, and just the nature of the beast of a Metroidvania.
Corridor of me whipping someone to
Well,
death, and then dialogue.
Let's say it's Symphony of the Night, right? Because Symphony of the Night is considered like the quintessential Castlevania game, right?
Yeah.
The story is freaking Richter's possessed by the reincarnation of Dracula done by some priest guy. You are Alucard. You are there to save him. There is no other story to this game.
Yeah.
That is it. and the only thing that changes is you get to the top and the castle flips upside down, and then you have to do it all over again, and eventually you fight Dracula, right? Castlevania games don't have the deepest narratives.
No, which is like some of the things that I can see people complaining about. Like when I watched it, I was like, oh, I don't know who these characters are,
Yeah.
but it's like, it's nice. There's more than just me be Richter, me kick ass.
Yeah, and then there's the thing, because there might be, that's the thing. It's like my familiarity with Rondo of Blood isn't like super in depth. So maybe there is characters in there, but I highly doubt it's a game with a lot of dialogue in it.
No, I doubt it.
Because Castlevania games just normally aren't.
All the Castlevania games I play, if you smash like all the dialogue, it's probably like a 20-page book.
The Aria games might. Like the Aria of Sorrow,
that's true,
the modern ones.
Yeah, the modern, but that's more. Whenever you go modern, it all becomes different.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, like anything from like 64 before, I'd argue.
Yeah.
So like you could probably fit it all in a 20-page book.
Yeah, I mean it's not a ton, and it's like you think about original Zelda games, right? Because it's the same level of depth.
Yeah.
Of I have to get these items, I got to kill the big boss, right?
Yeah.
It's a game, right?
Yeah.
So
It's the same thing that this game is basically.
exactly.
This game, to me, I only played so many of them.
Yes.
But I don't remember. Do you unlock things to like? Is it Metroidvania? Like you unlock new weapon to get a new area?
It depends.
Or is it just like I go from point A to point
No.
B, just whipping shit?
It depends on the game.
Yeah.
But in Symphony of the Night, what happens?
You do get different items, but I don't think they open up places. Just different weapons.
Just pick them up.
Yeah. So and
like you
that's
just
and that's
level up
why
then.
the idea of like a Metroidvania game is a combination of Metroid and Castlevania.
Yeah.
The idea of getting items to unlock an area comes from Metroid,
Yep.
instead of Castlevania.
Castlevania, you just kind of kill things and try to save someone.
and you'll get
battle.
new weapons, and there's ideas for weapons, or in
But
the
it's pretty straightforward.
yeah, or in the case of 3, you switch between different people because there's different fighting styles,
Yeah.
and you might have to solve puzzles with a different person. But other than that, you're normally given at least everything. You can go anywhere
Yeah.
for the most part.
Because the other issue I read through was the scaling didn't make sense, which I was like kind of weird. I didn't think about it.
Power-ups?
Yeah, so in the beginning, you have Richter, like, he's a vampire slayer.
Yeah,
Well, after the beginning.
In the beginning, you have Julia.
Yeah, after the
And she
beginning.
gets fucked.
Spoilers for the first 5 minutes. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. But you have the other characters, the mother and daughter, which
Tara and Maria.
Yeah. they're saying that, Richter is this vampire slayer, but he has issues fighting one-on-one half the time, and he's getting beat, or not getting beat, but he's, you have Bird Girl and Ice Girl, and they're just killing things. Like, it's like they're just slaughtering them. But you have Richter, and it seems like he's like,
He doesn't kick ass until like the end.
yeah. And he's like, I'm just whipping people, and they're taking damage.
Yeah,
And people or at least a few people I saw were saying that didn't seem right. It feels like that he should have been basically like End Richter, where he was just killing everything constantly.
Trevor's the person I was thinking of from the first game,
Yeah.
from the first show. Because even Trevor like struggles a little at the beginning of season 1.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also a question of age, right? Trevor Belmont in the first season is probably in his late 20s, 30s.
He also has his
Where-
whole family to train.
Where Richter's 18.
Where
I think.
Richter's like 18.
Yeah, because
and
when
orphaned.
Yeah.
when his mother dies, it's a 10-year gap between the first.
And that's why I didn't really mind it to a certain degree, right? And then there's also the second question that always comes every time you have to deal with any form of fantasy genre,
Yeah.
right? Is at what point does the physical man have to like how well does the physical man can contend with magic?
Yeah.
Right.
The only issue I had was towards the last episode, when he's fighting one of the vampires, and he's it seems like he's murking things, like in that one when he first
Yeah.
gains his powers.
Yeah.
He starts murking everybody, like with no trouble.
Yeah.
But
But then
level 1 characters.
no, but
Yeah.
they were like medium class.
5 characters.
Yeah, because it was like you have the level 1 like basic background
Yeah.
hood
Yeah.
people. They you just murk in one
Yeah.
shot. Then you had those guys that have faces with special weapons.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you have the main monsters, which
Yes.
are like the main vampires.
Yeah.
I was like, he upgraded and then he still couldn't fucking beat
But then he couldn't beat the girl.
But
and
she's
then-
like top tier though.
yeah, but I feel like he's on the same level as her, or it felt like. But it just felt like he went from killing things to then getting his ass kicked, but he started to come back in the fight.
It was like they gave him a power up the up the ass, right, for like 5 seconds, and then he's like, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, that's what my issue, because he's held by fucking vampires, and he gains the power, he nukes them.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't do that later on. Then he's just like power with whip now.
What if I come up magic and my whip?
Yeah.
Well, that's what he does during that fight for the most part as well, right? Because he still shoots the fire and everything, right? And then he does the eye stuff and everything.
Powerful
Yeah.
As when he first gets his powers.
I'm trying to drag it out.
With that, I think, yeah.
There's that. I don't know if it has to do with emotional state.
Well, at that time, it was just normal fighting. Nothing happened.
Yet.
Yeah, well, I know. Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Nothing happened yet. It was just kind of him fighting.
Yeah.
And then when something did emotional happen, like he gained all those powers because of the emotion.
Yeah.
Same thing was happening. He didn't gain those powers back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he still had the extra like buff, right?
Well, yeah, it's a buff.
Yeah.
But that's the only part I felt like he gained power, and I felt like it got scaled so far back.
I don't think it got scaled back. I just think enemies got scaled up with it.
He entered
Think so?
a different area.
He entered the new area where everything's scaled to you.
This is what happens. The spoilers clips buffed them up. So
Oh, that what it is?
and then it nerfed him. So
No, whatever.
It's the old shonen problem, right? You get the buff, and then you enter an area where everyone's on your same level again.
But I always felt like those, I almost said zombies, vampires were upper class vampires.
I think like the one dude was the axe guy.
Yeah. But remember, he's surrounded. He's holding the girl. He's not even using his firepower anymore.
Yeah.
He's getting his ass kicked by 5 or fucking 20
monk dudes.
vampires. Keep trying to say zombies in my head.
Yeah.
They're just standing there. Remember that? When she gets thrown, he grabs her. She says, escape. And then he's surrounded by people. And he's going,
Oh, that's right. They were
I
just
can't kill anything.
They were just
I'm so
regular
weak.
dudes. Like, stand back.
I'm like, kill him. Do something. What are you doing? You're just standing there. Because I thought he would have just murked all of them and then ran away. But it seemed like he was like, no, go away. You're coming too close.
Don't touch me.
And then they broke the door open and they escaped. I'm like, why did you just leave?
I don't know, man.
So to me, that's the one scene I had issues with. Everything else, I'm like, he's the beginning. He had PTSD from his fucking mom dying.
Yeah.
It's like, I can understand all that. That's fine. Then you have girls that have magic. Of course, they're going to kick ass.
Yeah.
And then he gets his powers. I'm like, okay, now we're all even level. And then it just...
The girl with the birds, Maria or whatever.
Yeah.
Her fireside looks so weird.
Her fighting style. Is
Yeah, it was just like some birds and a
and then
tiger.
she powered them up.
Yeah.
It's a summoner, man.
Yeah. She's a summoner and she boosts them.
It's just kind of weird. I don't know. I liked it. It's kind of weird to get used to it. For like, what the fuck? You just summoning fucking birds.
That's what her power is, man. She summons things.
She's
Summons a turtle.
Turtle, a bird, a tiger.
That turtle scene was badass.
When she opens it from below.
Oh,
yeah.
That sounds dope.
All we're talking about is the last episode without spoiling it.
Well, the
basically.
beginning to
Like,
me is a blur because like nothing really important happened.
Well,
the beginning's all dialogue.
It's like it's
There's a lot of
introducing
fighting.
you to who your cast of characters will be
Yeah.
before throwing them into like the deep end.
I remember like 1 through 4 and like 5 and 6 are a blur and then 7 and 8 are like, oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah. No, 7 and 8's the climax. Everyone's coming with all their powers everywhere.
Yeah.
Splurting it all over everybody.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
And then 1 through 4 to me is just like, here we have Vampire Aztec dude. We have I don't know if that's really a spoiler. We're going through characters at this point. You have the two, the mother and daughter. You have the priest. Mm-hmm. You have the main second to main vampire lady. And then that's it. I think you really see.
See, I think I only like the Richter and then the other 2 girls, and then the other chick I forgot her name, but I didn't give a shit about her backstory, and that took like 2 episodes.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
If you don't like them,
It felt like 2.
It was
I'm
one.
like, oh
It was
my
one,
god,
yeah.
dude, I don't give a shit.
It was one episode.
yeah, it was him and his sister.
It wasn't his sister.
No, but it's him and his sister.
Oh, that's right. Is that where your names come from?
No.
It's not from Castlevania.
No, that's just coincidental.
And that and Edward.
Edward. Like the dude dies. I'm like, yeah, that was sad. And then they go into a whole like backstory and then some other bullshit. And I'm just like,
I think, to be fair, like her character is okay. Too much backstory for a character I don't think needs that much.
Forced romance. I ain't like that either.
Is it forced?
Pretty forced.
Romance between Richter and
Annette. Yeah.
I didn't feel like that was. I thought they were just friends until
until
that one scene, and I'm like, "What? They like each other?"
No,
What
you
is that
hated
happening?
him because he ran away like a bitch.
He was a bitch.
I mean, he was.
You only saw probably the scariest thing of your life. What a bitch!
He's like, "Get out of here.
He ran him.
I'm gonna kill demons and vampires left and right, but this fucker comes up. I'm out."
He ran away, and I'm like, "Same, dude. Same."
He didn't even see him. He just like felt his presence.
You heard his voice.
Yeah.
And
Nah,
he's just
no,
like, I'm out.
He goes up to the vampire, shake their hand. Good fight.
Goodbye.
I'll see you later.
I'm out of here.
Jeez.
But and that was okay. Edward, it was Edward.
I like Edward.
I like the idea of, because we have the night creatures again.
Yeah.
Obviously, we need humans to summon them. That's kind of why the vampires are teaming with the humans again. And I like the idea that something has changed in how the night creatures are summoned. That their mentality is way different. Like
They still have a soul.
Yeah, he comes out remembering parts of his life.
And it comes back.
And then, it's starting to come back. And then he's also able to, from his singing, as he says,
I
when
wonder
he sings, it brings the light.
I wonder if that's more indication of like the strength of his soul over the machine just not working the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, but it's also like he transformed the other two guys
And I think
to remember themselves.
That's what I'm saying. And then maybe that's just like the gravitation of himself.
Yeah.
He's very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than,
So I'm not sure who or what is going on, but I do like the concept of it's just not like we have more basic demons that he just blows through, that they're now they're on his side, kind of.
His character was more interesting.
Yeah. I did like his character. I liked his singing.
I'm glad that he's not dead.
My favorite parts during every fight scene, you could hear him in the background.
providing background music.
Yeah, he's the bard of the party.
Yep.
He's singing from behind.
Funniest shots.
He did, to be fair.
The random shots of just him
In the
singing.
background, that's in a cell, like.
Yeah, I do think he's got the best look for the monster so far, because he's got the hands to hide the face, but he still has other arms to fight. I like it. It's a very good idea.
I liked his character.
Character design was dope.
I can't wait for him to die in the next season.
How do you feel about the vampire?
The main one?
Well, just the character design in general.
Or
the main ones.
Because
Like Big Mommy.
is Big Mommy or Medium Mommy? Which one are we talking about?
Big Mommy.
Big Mommy.
Yeah.
I liked her normally when you saw her. What's her name? It's not the normal version of the Blood Girl.
Well, I mean, so the show calls her Elizabeth Bathory, right? That's Elizabeth Bathory.
Yeah.
Or maybe the other way. I don't know. I don't remember where she's from.
I just know her as normally Camilla.
Yeah.
Because that's her more of a nickname, I guess. But so you have her. I liked her before she transformed. She kind of went.
After that, I looked like I was watching the Thundercats, bro.
Yeah.
I think that's supposed to be like the general vibe.
Was it supposed to be?
Well, I mean,
or is it because it's like is the goddess supposed to look like that?
Yeah, that's what.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
because I thought it looked weird, but I'm like, she's a goddess.
Because they mention it that the goddess they chose, right, the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet.
Yeah.
Just because the Egyptians and cat.
Stuff
to go hand in hand.
Right.
That's what I kind of guessed.
That goddess is supposed to be called like the lioness or something like that. So
did they find that body and then she just like
I don't
sucked it up?
because it doesn't explain it, right? It's just like she has consumed the blood of a god, and I'm like, cool, sure, whatever. We're gonna go with it.
I like they casually mentioned like when what.
Yeah.
Sorry, I needed the visual.
Well, I mean, you don't have to, but I mean,
it also might be something they do in the next season where it's like, how did she get her powers? Yeah. And stuff like that, which I could see. I'd like to learn more about the villains in this.
Because obviously there's like larger entities that exist, right? I mean, obviously, 4th season of the last one, Trevor fights death, right? So there's these bigger beings
because there's background
exist.
stories we do not know.
Yeah,
Like we don't know about her. Obviously, the second mommy died, and then
Which one was that?
her right hand man,
That's right.
right hand woman.
That's right.
And then we don't know anything about. Well, we know a little bit about Aztec dude.
Yeah, I want to know his story.
Yeah, because
Also,
obviously,
the story of the pink hair vampire.
I thought there was
Yeah.
gonna be something. She just died. Spoilers.
I mean, they like mention
straight up killed her.
because they mention where she's from.
Do
And
they?
that's yeah.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
she was a priestess.
They did
of
talk about
Sekhmet.
her in the beginning.
Yeah,
She's from Egypt.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because the blonde girl talks about
That's
her.
right.
yeah.
She's like, "Oh no, it's her."
Yeah,
And
she's
then-
like
Oh,
a
no.
she's like a priestess of Sekhmet. So
Yeah.
that's probably how the other chick did stuff.
I think we'll get 2 backstories from them fully
Yeah,
over the little segments that we got, and then everything else has kind of been fleshed out at this point,
I like the whole priest had a secret daughter with Tara, and we're like, whoa,
which was
no
cool. I like
way.
that.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, you gotta kill her. What?
I like Eddie saying that she was gonna die. She never died this whole time.
And now she can't die.
Yeah, she's a immortal.
She's
The exact
immortal.
opposite of what Eddie guessed.
she's a vampire now, right?
Does that
Which
make her
means
undead immortal?
yes, but which means
Well,
she is now the enemy.
But maybe there's a
so
reversal.
she's probably gonna die.
Maybe there's a reversal. You never know.
But Alucard is also a vampire, and he's a
Well, he's
good
like
guy.
halvesies.
He's a good guy.
Well, he's halvesies.
So is Tara a full vampire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just
Because the
naturally evil.
well the weird thing is, you know how we talked about vampires don't age.
Yeah.
Because isn't Alucard, Dracula, and a human girl's kid?
Yes.
yeah.
So that's the only time I've ever seen him reproduce. But Alucard aged and then he stopped.
Yeah.
yeah. Hello. Like you reach like your prime.
You reach peak.
You reach
Peak condition.
You look
and then you stay
So
there.
like someone between 25 and 30, and then you're like, I'm not gonna age anymore.
Yep. Exactly.
You
Wow.
reach peak hotness. And you
Uh-huh.
go, oh, that
Yeah.
guy's hot as fuck.
That's where he
Everybody
stays.
stop.
Like, that's a good deal.
He stops. That's where he
How old
stops.
are you? 30. How long have you been 30?
30,000 years.
1,000 years.
A long time.
At least 300.
Yeah. Either way, that's something I remember he brought up. He's like, do vampires age? I'm like, no, they don't really fuck because they don't reproduce that way. I'm like, oh, wait, but Alucard is a baby of Dracula.
But there's a little bit of the human side. And maybe he does age. Maybe it takes like a couple millennia and then he gets old.
Yeah, but he went from baby form to normal form pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then he just stopped.
In fucking a week, he just, I'm fully formed now.
He's a robot. I knew it this whole time. But either way, going back, I think that we saw most of the characters. I like everybody.
And I think that's why they spent the beginning doing what they did, right? Because like this is everybody.
Yep.
This is where they come from.
This is the first season.
Yeah. Now we can focus
I do
on.
think another character that will come back is Alucard. No, not Alucard. Belmont's
Grandpa.
Grandpa, yeah.
I think it'll be another training arc. And I think he'll learn more stuff. I thought
He's gonna die next season.
He was
I think
the
he will
strongest
die.
magician.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
well, he
wizard.
can't do spells anymore.
Maybe
But
he can
he
now.
just has to get over trauma.
Yeah. Maybe he
That's
can
what
teach
Richter
him.
did.
He doesn't have trauma. But I think he'll come back. I thought he was going to be in the last fights of this season. I'm like, oh, he's going to come in, help
He's
out.
an old man.
It's
Like
fine.
you said, training arc next season.
Yeah, he'll be the training guy, and we'll see what goes on from there. And then we'll talk about big spoilers at this point.
Best spoiler?
Alucard is here.
Oh, I thought it was Dracula.
No.
Dracula's son.
Dude,
Alucard.
I will say, like, I think this show, animation wise, is good,
Yes.
but their stills
It's
are,
God
are
tier.
legit art. Legit
Their
art.
keyframes, amazing.
Best keyframes.
Because I think the last episode for art wise is the best art, period. Because you have the shot where they're going to be attacked, and you see all three of them turn, and you have the moon with the eclipse.
Yeah.
Eclipse.
And you can see all three of them, and you're like, oh, that's a really good shot of them being attacked. But I think the best shot is obviously when Alucard does come in. It's you see her going in for the slash. The stab. And I remember I watched it and I rewinded it and paused and played it because I wanted to see like if you could see what it was. But you see a sword for I'm pretty sure like half a second, and then it's blood, and then it pulls back, and then you see the whole
thing with Alucard.
Dude, I got so hyped. I'm like, whoa! Who is this?
Well, I felt like it because I remember I was asking Forrest, I'm like, Alucard's gonna show up, right? I know he is. I understand how this works. If there's anything about this like side of Castlevania, I know Richter and Alucard are bros, which means he's gonna be here at some point.
Because I watched that work, he's like Alucard, and I'm like, maybe next season. Like I didn't really see him. He's like, oh, interesting.
He's gonna be there.
Yeah.
I know he is. I feel it in my bones.
To end with it,
yeah, it was nice. Well, if anything, it mimics the end of the first season.
Yeah,
where Alucard comes in the last episode.
Yep.
When they awaken him.
That's right.
I mean, that one was only 4 episodes, right?
I do want to do art. I just love it. It's just like look how clean that is. Oh, it's beautiful.
That's a good background.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Change your computer background.
No, that's fine. And I did like the other one.
And like this shot so good as well.
That shot
that
or
really good.
that shot. With
yeah.
backwards. He spins around and then the sword just flips. And he's just looking at it. He's like, I'm Alucard.
I'm like,
many vampires.
Son of Dracula.
Yeah, many vampires fought me. Will you like try to outrun? I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
And the one bitch, who?
Who's Dracula?
I'm like, get out.
I hope Alucard should just stab her and then be like, you don't know my father. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of my show. But I don't know. I had a lot of fun with the show. Like I feel like I always do. Even with the setting thing being kind of weird and
I didn't mind it.
Characters. I thought it was fun.
I never minded because to me that some of my favorite ideas of like of vampire stories are always in those time, like the super really tumultuous time periods, right?
Yeah.
Because the reason the idea of Dracula works so well is because of the level of conflict that existed.
Yeah.
And, in what is now Romania and stuff in that time period.
My favorite time period is probably when the first one takes place. I like more sword, shield, like fantasy.
Yeah.
When you start adding guns, it just feels kind of weird.
Feels like cheating.
Yeah. Even when the vampire had guns and fucking Richter dodged the bullet, I'm like, what the fuck?
Powers,
They
man.
had shitty guns.
I mean,
to be fair, they were shitty guns, yes.
Yeah. But I always thought, like, because when they said it was the French Revolution, I always thought that was perfect. Because, I mean, it's just a time just overflowing with blood. So why wouldn't you want vampires?
Medieval time period, where it's also bloody, but it's a different type of fighting.
It's like one of my favorite ones. By Mike Mignola, Baltimore, takes place during World War II because obviously a lot of dead people. A lot of death.
Watch The Bunker. I think it also takes either one or two. I can't remember, but it's a good movie.
A lot of death. A lot of death for vampires.
Were you satisfied with this adaptation? As a Castlevania fan.
Yeah, I mean, like I knew they were obviously going to take whatever creative liberties because they did with the first one, right?
Yeah.
Because if you were to look at the story of Castlevania 3 and the show, it's not the same. Or if it was only the first 2 seasons, and then the next 2 seasons was completely uncharted territory anyway. And even characters that did have games and their own stories later, like Isaac and Hector, that's the Hector I was thinking of, who are in the 3D Castlevania game, which is not great, but are that character. But it's not like it followed that story either, right?
Yeah. Other
than the animosity. So I knew it was going to be different. I knew it was going to be out there. I saw the French Revolution. I always think that's a perfect time for it. And overall, I understood the beginning was going to be a little slow. It was. It explained characters is great, but what was good and what came through, I'm like, yes, this is glorious. I mean, like I said, glorious. I think the only thing it'd be cool as a person who loves like lore and anything to see the idea of like, if it's possible to drain the blood of a god, is there more of them? Is there other things? There's everything else, right?
Can you combine them? Like
sure, whatever's right. Because that other chick too was basically summoning one,
right?
Because that's the dude with the hat and the candles, right?
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to see those powers just like get bigger, get flashier. It's just cool.
Yeah. So what'd you give it as a rating?
I'm trying to think what I rated the first ones as.
Okay, Bob, do you think it's Castlevania or Crapavania?
Castlevania.
Okay. What would you rate it as? As Eddie
Drip or trip?
What would you rate it as, Bob? Since Eddie's kind of lost. 9?
9.
Okay, 9's pretty good.
I was gonna say 8, because I think for me,
I haven't played the game,
because for me the other seasons are what I would put like a 9, especially the fourth season was great.
I think the other seasons are between 9 and 10.
Yeah. So I feel like those were a bit better than what this was.
Season 3 and 4 had the best mommy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know, but Blonde MILF is pretty good in this one.
So she died.
She didn't die.
She's a vampire
immortal
now.
No. I'm saying the
Oh,
one
oh,
in
yeah.
season 3 and 4.
No, we know who he's talking about.
Yeah. Different person, yeah.
In person, yeah.
But and so I think those are better.
Yeah.
So for me, this is because I still like this. So 8 is good for me.
This is the first season, so maybe we'll ask him again in season 3.
Well, I think I do think it will get better.
Even season 2 is probably going to be better.
I think it'll get way better.
Because if you ask me, like, season 1, the 4 episodes, part of it was like, Castlevania, but still like 4 episodes, right? And then the next season came out where they fight and kill Dracula, and to me that was like 9, 10, right?
Yeah. And then they kept going.
Well, it's like the moment here, right? The same moment gives me chills. Obviously, it's the nostalgia bait, but it's just what it's for, right? Just like how what is it? Tears of Blood is the name of the song that came through in the second season when they fought Dracula. Just hearing the Rondo blood theme play while Richter gets all powerful is great. It's just wonderful. And it's wonderful to hear.
I think, in my opinion, I'm in between both of you, 8.5.
Yeah.
There's parts I really like, and then there's characters I don't like. Where
I had issues with the voice acting, but I think that's just personal.
But I've also listened to a lot of English anime at this point, like voice acting, where I kind of almost don't take that into account, weirdly enough. I'll take into account animation, story.
You're like, this is the norm.
Yeah, you're just like, it's not great, it's not bad. People do their... It's what they were chosen. So it's like, that's what they wanted, that's what they got. So I think it's good. I think it's a great show. I'd recommend anyone to watch it. Definitely feel like vampires and people slaying each other.
If you've already gone through this journey thus far, by all means keep on going.
What's another season?
Yeah, by all means keep on going.
It only took like 2 hours.
It's more of what you love.
Yeah, it's great. Would recommend it. It's 2.5 hours of what we think, right?
Yeah.
If that, do it again. Can't wait for the next season. It's been announced as the recording of this episode, which I think was announced last night. I remember finishing it, and I looked it up, and it's like, we haven't said anything yet, and it was in the top 5 of Netflix.
Yeah.
Last 2 episodes, total rewatchability.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's just scenes I just want to rewatch just because it's like, the beautifulness. I'd have to change my underwear twice, but
Good job, DR Studios.
DR Studios.
Hell yeah. Amazing. Keep going.
If you like Castlevania, you should watch our other reviews on Castlevania.
Further back of last seasons, yeah.
And you can see why we think the other ones are better or worse. We can listen to everything, I guess.
Did we do all seasons in one video?
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
They're back.
Because they came... Like, I can see us doing the first 2 and then the other one separately because as they came out.
The first 2 came out like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe not. Maybe we did talk about all of them when
that's what
the
I'm wondering.
fourth season came out.
I don't remember, so you'll have to tell us in the comments because I'm not going to look it up. So tell us if we did it all.
Yeah.
What did you think of it, really? If
Do you like Castlevania? Do you like vampires?
Do you think the next season's going to be worth it, or are you like some of the other people that don't like some of the new characters, the setting?
Rector's a bitch.
He was a bitch in the beginning.
Yeah, but that's that's the traditional hero's journey, right?
Yeah.
You a bitch,
and then you're not.
and then you're not.
That's how it works.
Or like this one, he was a bitch, then he wasn't a bitch, then he was a bitch again.
or you end up like your grandpa.
I do have a question though. It's like, where is the next season? How many seasons are we getting?
I think
3.
1.
3.
I think it's only gonna be 1 more.
1 more.
Yeah, I think that's
3
it.
altogether.
I think it's gonna wrap up in 1 more.
Because I'm unsure, because we don't have too much to wrap up, but we don't know what's going to be added next season.
Yeah, unless they decide this is how I see it. I feel like this story
Yeah.
will wrap up next season,
Okay.
and then just out of sheer gratuitousness,
Yeah.
if there is a 3rd season, it'll probably be Symphony of the Night.
I think we'll get Symphony of the Night at some point.
Yeah.
Which I hope, because it is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see.
I feel it's kind of like what they did with the first Castlevania, where like the first 2 seasons kind of wrapped it up.
Yeah, its own little
then
thing.
they
And
added
then 3
the
and
other
4
two.
is like
It was own
Whoa.
extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see. I just can't wait to see the backstory of Alucard. Don't know where he came from. Be
I
cool
know
to see,
his
you
father
know.
never heard of him.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Nacula? Was it Acula?
Acula. When he had his flying sword, I don't
Who?
know.
Yeah, crazy. I can't wait to see the backstory.
Why is
of
he so
the dude.
pretty? I don't know.
Off the boner right away. Anyway, thanks for watching this episode. Check us out. We got more shit. We got art.
See ya. Till next time.
Yeah.
Peace.